Do you know when the tax deadline is? Let's dive into the tax season for the year 2023, which is swiftly drawing to a close. The crux of the matter is that federal tax returns are due by April 15th. Yes, that's right. April 15th is the deadline. It's important to mark that date on your calendar because if you miss it, penalties may apply for late payments. You certainly don't want to be caught off guard and find yourself with a bill for late fees. This is no April Fool's joke, and the tax season is serious business, so don't procrastinate. Start preparing your tax returns now if you haven't already. Remember, the clock is ticking, and the deadline is closer than you might think. Caught up in the last-minute tax filing hustle? Fear not, there are options available. Perhaps you're one of the many who are scrambling to get their taxes done. Well, you're not alone, and there are several ways to tackle this. One option is to set up a virtual appointment with a tax professional. They can guide you through the process, ensuring you don't miss any potential deductions or credits. This is a great option if you're uncomfortable handling your taxes on your own or if your situation is a bit more complex. Another option is to utilize free tax preparation services. These are often available to eligible individuals, so it's worth checking to see if you qualify. It's an excellent resource for those on a budget. Then there are online tax filing resources. These platforms are designed to make the process as easy as possible. They guide you step by step, asking simple questions to fill out your tax return accurately and efficiently. And finally, if you're really in a bind and can't get everything sorted by the April 15th deadline, know that extensions are available. You'll need to request this ahead of time, but it can give you some breathing room. So even if you're a bit behind, there are resources available to help you get across the finish line. While you're focused on federal taxes, don't forget about your state tax returns. Yes, you heard it right. In addition to the federal tax return, you also need to file your state tax return. For instance, let's consider Delaware. Residents of this state have until April 30th to file their state tax returns, which is a whole 15 days after the federal tax deadline. Now, if you're not a Delaware resident, don't worry. Each state has its own tax laws and deadlines. Some states might align with the federal deadline of April 15th, while others might allow you a little extra time. So it's absolutely crucial to check the specific tax requirements for your state. You can usually find this information on your state's Department of Revenue website. And remember, just like federal taxes, penalties may apply for late state tax return filings. So, it's always better to file on time to avoid any unnecessary headaches. Always remember, your state tax return is just as important as your federal one. Once you've filed your taxes, you might be wondering, when will I get my refund? Well, here's the thing. Refunds are typically issued via direct deposit within 21 days of filing. It's the fastest and most secure way to get your money. However, sometimes delays can occur. It's not a perfect system after all. Maybe there's a backlog, or perhaps there's an issue with your return that needs to be resolved. It's hard to say. But don't worry, there's a way to keep tabs on your refund. You can track its status using the IRS website or their dedicated app. It's as simple as entering some basic information, and voila, you're in the loop. You'll know exactly where your refund is in the process. So while waiting might be frustrating, remember that you're not left in the dark. Patience is key when waiting for your tax refund, but rest assured, it's on its way. As we wrap up, let's recap what we've learned today. The tax season for 2023 has been quite a journey. The importance of meeting deadlines, both federal and state, cannot be overstated. Penalties for late payments are an unnecessary burden that can easily be avoided with a bit of planning and timely action. We've also discussed the various resources available for those of you who found yourselves in the last-minute filing bracket. Virtual appointments, free tax preparation services for eligible individuals, and online tax filing resources can be lifesavers in these times. Don't forget about your state tax returns. For those in Delaware, you've got until April 30th to get those in. And lastly, tracking your refunds. While they are typically issued within 21 days, remember that delays can occur. Use the IRS website or app to keep an eye on the status of your refund. And that's a wrap on the tax season for 2023. Remember, preparation is key, and it's never too early to start planning for next year.